Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to this wonderful Monday. As those of you know, I say that every Monday, but it is. It's a beautiful Monday. If you look out anywhere you are in the world, it's beautiful because you're here. That's it. You're alive and you're here. It's a beautiful Monday. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mary D. Welch. And I am the host of the Mary D Talk Show. Been here now for about 3.5 years. Just want to share information with the community, have conversations, all of this for you, the audience, because it means a lot that we have a voice. We have a voice and have something that we like to say or something we want to share. I know today is interesting. Oh, it's interesting. I don't think, have I ever talked about politics ever? I don't think so. I think I tend to shy away from it. Let me just be honest with you guys. And before I do, let me say this. I always get ahead of myself. So I have to back up and let's take it from square one. I'd like to first thank our executive producer, who's just my husband, Oliver Welch. Hi, babe. He's in the background. You guys, you saw him on Christmas. That's when you guys saw him. He came on the show on Christmas. And I like to thank you, our live viewers. Thank you, replay viewers. You touch my heart. All of you touch my heart because the show exists because of you. The live replay, those of you that share it. And don't forget to like it, subscribe it, and share the show. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I'm going to start saying that throughout the show. I didn't used to, but one of our viewers, and she's so kind. She said, Mary, you need to say that to let people know that you want them to like and subscribe and share. And that makes a difference when they do that. And I will definitely start doing that more. So I just want to say that. So, and I want to, I'm going to go or the show as I often do. A couple of the books I've written and other authors have written. So I'll start. Let me see. You know what? I took the books in the other room. I was reading one. Can you believe that? But I'll just go in and show you. These just happen to be here on my desk. That's this one, Saying No Nicely. You can get and all of these are available on Amazon. You can buy all the books on Amazon. And those of you that do purchase, if you would be so kind to leave a review, please leave a review. And I say that because people read those reviews. You're the person that purchased the book. When you leave a review, people are gonna read it. They're gonna read it. I guarantee you they're gonna read it. They're gonna read it because they want to know your opinion of the book. So that's one book. This is actually one of the first book for adults I published. The other book for adults I published, and I'm going to be giving a free webinar on the other one, which is called Saving Your Home from Probate. Saving Your Home from Probate. And it's good in 33 states and the District of Columbia. So we'll talk about that. That'll come out in a couple of weeks. It'll be a free webinar. I'll tell you guys all about it. You'll be able to, those of you that would like to come to the free webinar, learn how to save your home from probate. We'll talk even briefly about wills. And I always stress this when I talk about these things. I'm not an attorney. I always want to make sure everybody knows I'm not an attorney. Okay, so, is my sound, what was that? First time here. Oh my God. Let me go through. I have to do a roll call. Let me do this because I see these names pop in and I'm excited, especially when I see Devera come in. Devera, you cannot imagine. Thank you for being here. Hi, Nanette. Good to see you, Nanette. Always. Hi, Waivani. Good to see you, Waivani. Waivani is in Florida, ladies and gentlemen. So that tells you the reach of the Mary D Talk Show. She is in Florida. And hi, Antonio. Antonio is in, I want to say South Dakota. Is my right? Tell me where you're from. I know it's cold. That's the only thing I keep in mind, Antonio. So go on and put where you're from. And Devera, hi Devera. It's so good to see you. And she's Dr. Devera. But I just know her as Devera. But it's so good to see. I hope I see you. Are you going to Sacramento? I'm sure you are. You got to be going. But you can put yes or no in there. But anyway, I had to make sure I said hello because all of you, thank you. You said it's South. I was right. Oh, I got it right. South Dakota. Antonio's from South he's on the show logging in from South Dakota. We have California And you said it's windy over there. Okay, okay, I believe that. Okay, you go good, Devera. I get to see you. Yay! I'm coming. I'm coming. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. To Devera is talking with her about, ladies and gentlemen. We are a member of an organization called National Council of Negro Women. I'm gonna say it slow because I said it kind of fast. National Council of Negro Women, and that's an organization we're both a member of. Devere has been a member a lot longer than I have. A lot of wisdom with this lady, and so, but I don't get a chance to see her often. In fact, I think the last time I saw her was at the National Convention. But we were both members. I'm a member of the Riverside section. Actually, I was honored to start the Riverside section or restart it. It hadn't existed for almost 30 years. And but that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, it's restarted. It's in Riverside now, going well. I'm the past president. And now we're growing. We're in a growth phase, which is good, which is always good. But I'm so glad to see Devere. No, I'm wrong, Devere. I did see you. I'm wrong. I saw you at the luncheon. That's why I saw you last, at the luncheon down in Orange County. That's where it was. So anyway, but I just wanted to share that. So I'll be glad to see you when I see you Wednesday. Antonio said what did you say? I don't know. You said C. Antonio, don't be saying C. You better speak English to me. Anyway, so you said sunshine is out. Okay, good. See, it's here now. But this is our everyday. Well, it rained a couple of days. It did rain here. What does that saying go? It never rains in Southern California. It does rain in Southern California. I don't know why they say that. It does. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure I did that roll call. So thank you all and I don't honestly see you, ladies and gentlemen, unless you make a comment. I don't see you on the program, but that's okay. That's fine. You're welcome. But please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. The reason you want to subscribe is that whenever I go live, whether it be for the show or any other time, you'll automatically get notified. That's why you want to subscribe. So thank you all for your subscriptions. It really means a lot. And those of you that would be kind enough to share the show, please share the show with your friends. It means a lot. It really does. But I want to get talking about this topic. I'm not going to worry about any more books or anything else because some of you may know or you may not know, I'm a retired history teacher. I taught history for years, high school history. So this is really, really very, today is very important to me, even though I don't teach history anymore, but I love history. I've always loved history. So when we have situations like what's happening today with having a former president, think about this. We're living history. That's what this is. I'm just going to be honest with you. We are living history. Something that's happening right now in front of our eyes. Someone who was once the president of the United States. That's number one. A past president. That's number one. Number two, has been criminally charged. That's number two. Number three, so past president, number one. Number two, criminally charged. Number two. Number three, and is the number one. Think about this. Will be the nominee for the Republican Party. All of these are first. All of these are first. This has never happened in the history of our country. So what we are living is history. We're living history. And when things happen, we're living history. I always try to do a pause because this is what our children, our children are grown, our grandchildren. Now, our grandchildren are almost grown, tell you the truth. So it's almost at the great grands. They will be reading about this. This is the history they will. This is when you hear people say, I was alive when Pearl Harbor happened, or you'll be able to say you were alive at I don't know about, I'm speaking for me, 9/11. I was alive. I remember the day. I remember the day these things happened. I remember where I was. I remember when I first saw all of these things. I remember. I've been here long enough to remember when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, when Martin Luther King was assassinated. This is on that level. I know it may not seem like it, but it is. It is that level because Going forward, this country will never be the same again. We have never, ever in the history of this country had to. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying that somebody didn't deserve to have probably criminal charges or anything like that. I can't speak on that because I don't know. I just know that this is where we are today as in our society. So, be that as it may, our former president has 34 charges of falsifying business records in connection with an alleged hush money payment to adult film actor Stormy Daniels. Now, whether or not he's guilty, and as we all know, you're innocent until proven guilty. I think everybody knows that. So we don't know what. Do we know that this is what the alleged is what he's alleged to have done? Do we know what he has done? No, we don't know. That's why it has to go to a trial, and he is to be under a trial under jury of his peers. Now, why this is so unique. We've never had a criminal trial for a past president, ever. So that's why, as a former, as a retired history teacher, this is so pivotal to me. In my thinking, is pivotal because I know that once, this is how life is. Once you let the genie out of that bottle, you can't put that genie back in. I don't know if you know when I say that, what I mean by that. Once what's already started, this trial has started, and whatever, and honestly, does the outcome, he can be, totally innocent of all charges, but it will still be in the history books. And believe me, there's historians writing all this down as I'm talking. Not me personally, but watch. I mean, this is all being documented because normally, in my time on the planet, if people have money, they didn't have to go to any trial. There was no trial to go to. None of that. They never even got that far. Nope. They just did. That's what I noticed anyway. Hi, Elaine. Thank you for coming, Elaine. So this has been my time. I'm speaking from what I've noticed is that it never comes to, not never. I don't want never is such a blanket statement. Let me say this. Overall, I would say it does. It rarely. That's the better way to say it. It rarely comes to that. Hello there, Ruby. How are you? It rarely comes to that. That's been my observation. But I'm gonna be honest. What I've noticed is that the tide is changing. The tide is changing. Now, I'm not trying to say people that have money never went to court or never. I can't speak on that because I'm pretty sure they did. But I'm saying from what I've noticed, for a lot of them, they didn't go to prison or anything like that. They may have got fines or whatever, but not that that's going to happen in this case. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. Let me go ahead and preface that as I start. It's like should have said at the very beginning. I'm not an attorney, as I said before, so I have no clue about the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs. All I know is probably the same thing you guys know. My phone is just blowing up today. It's pretty much everything on there is coming across about Trump. That's what I've noticed. But at the same time, remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that's always the case. It really isn't. I don't care if people say that. We say the words. We give it lip service. Let me say that. I don't know that that's really true though. Even though that's what we say, I think there's a presumption of guilt when you are charged. Let me say that. And let me take a moment to digress with what happened with O.J. Simpson's passing away and everything, and how that, all of that. That's another point in history. That's why we're seeing it all, because in all of our lives, this has come to fruition that all of us witnessed. If you were alive during that time, then you what you who didn't see the trial. I don't know who didn't see it, but if you probably did, if you were, or you saw the replays or something. But there was a presumption of guilt. Let's be honest. There was a presumption of guilt in that O.J. Simpson trial. I think it was. I'm speaking for me. I think there was. And when he was acquitted, I think people, well, we know people were in shock. It's not think they were in shock. They were in shock. Because they're like, how could you have said he's not guilty of that? Because of all the evidence, this, that, and the other. And I didn't watch it every single day like some people did. So I can't even speak on that. I watched it, probably I saw the beginning and I saw the end. What happened in the middle? I'm not the one I'm no expert on happiness. So that's telling you when you, in my opinion, when you are quote unquote celebrity status and all those things that many of them are, that court of opinion is real. Don't ever think that court of opinion is not real. That court of opinion is very real. People right now saying if they think that, and what I tried to, if they think Trump is guilty or he's innocent or whatever the case may be. And what I tried to really stress, I don't know if those of you see the email or the text, this is not about parties. I know it may seem like it is about, because he represents the Republican Party. It's not about parties. Mm-mm. It's about positions. This was once our president of the United States, like it or not. And I always try to really stress that to people, even whether you like the person or not. When they're in office, they're guaranteed 4 years to represent this country in whatever that may be and whatever that looks like. They're given that 4-year time period to do it. And then after 4 years, we as a country can make another decision if that's what we decide, or the person decides they don't want to run again. And let me go over what it takes to be president. I want to definitely share that with, and you guys, you probably already know. If you want to be president of the United States, there are only a few qualifications. One, you must be 35 years old or older, but the minimum age is 35. Let me say that. And I'm going to go down. Now you get some history lessons, I guess, really quickly. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to start with the House, and then I'll go to the House, the Senate, and President. I'll do that. To run for the House of Representatives, you must be 25 years old and live in the state that you're running in and be a U.S. citizen. That's it. Now, in California, we have 58 counties, except I know they did a redistricting and all these kind of things. So I don't know how that affected us. So I don't want to be real specific about that. But I know it was 58 counties. I don't know if it's still 58 counties or not. That I don't know. But California is huge, huge. And so I'm just giving you, just to run for the House of Representatives, you have a 2-year term that you're serving in the House of Representatives. 2 years. Now, if you're elected, that's a 2-year term. The next level in our government is the Senate. A U.S. senator, you must be 30 years of age minimum. You must live in the state that you're representing, and there's, for every state in our country, there's 2 senators for the entire state, which California needs to be like 10 senators, but it's only 2. Every state gets the same amount, because in the House, it's based on population. That's why you have so many in the House of Representatives. But in the Senate, you only get 2, no matter what state you're from. Okay. Now, you probably already know all this, but just in case somebody didn't. Now, president. To be president of the United States, you must be 35 years of age. You must have lived in the United States consecutively for 14 years. You must be a U.S. citizen, and you must be born on U.S. soil. That's it. Now, and I say that because it sounds real basic. I could run for president. I qualify. I'm born in the United States. I'm over 35 years old. I've lived here for 14 consecutive years. I have all the things to run for president. Not that I'm trying to run for president, by the way, but I qualify. If I wanted to be to run. I actually qualified to run for president of the United States. So I say all this to say, currently, as you know, in our country, it's only been men. We've never had a woman in a lead in that. That is the top of all leadership positions in our entire country. It's almost, in my opinion, like being president of the world. I mean, you're president, yes, of the U.S., but after World War II, we became one of the most powerful nations in the world. And one reason, I think, is because we didn't fight. The only war we had, the last war we've had on U.S. soil was the Civil War. And I'm excluding January 6th because that's another topic. That's a topic for another day. So it's the Civil War. And in that war, we fought each other. So we literally, there wasn't an outside enemy. We were fighting it was an inside enemy, ourselves. So that's a topic for another day. But when it comes to this, about what's going on today, it was just fascinating to me. That's why I had that as a topic. It's fascinating that we would even be here. It's fascinating because we've never been here. We don't even know what it looks like. Like they're talking about when the last I saw on TV, right before the show, was a jury pool. I think they said it's 500, and they have to pick 12. And then I want to say, I don't know how many. It's not extra jurors, but I can't remember the correct terminology for the jurors that are there, because you have to have not in addition to those 12, you're going to have jurors that you I should say not you, just as we may not see those jurors. They're in the courtroom, but they are not. But he's not. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I saw that, Ruby. They didn't call it rape. They used another term. It was never the word rape, because rape would have been like 25 years in prison. If you notice, they're very careful about the words they use. I can speak of my one whole year of law school. They may have used it aggravated assault. That's how they do it. Yep. Alternatives. Thank you, Nanette. Nanette, you be on point. So the alternatives are there. They're in that courtroom, and usually they sit off from the jury, but they're there because if a jury gets sick, think about this, whenever they get to 12, by the way, if somebody gets sick, somebody has an accident, somebody dies, they have to have people who have heard from the very beginning of the case. And it would not surprise me if they have 12 alternatives to be there. But anyway, I can guarantee you they're in there. They have to be there because people do get sick. People do die. People do have emergencies. And they have to have those alternatives. Thank you, Annette. That can just go right. They've been at the whole entire time. They really have to treat the case as if they're on the jury. They cannot sit back and say, oh, well, I'm an alternative. I don't have to pay attention. Oh, yes, you do. Because you don't know when you may be called to be an actual juror on this case. Now, I don't know if the alternatives go in when they are deliberating. I don't think they do, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. Because I think when it comes time to deliberation and they're at that point in time, as long as they have the 12, the alternatives don't come in there. They don't discuss that. And I honestly don't know. And I've never, why would I know? On the alternatives, because I don't know in this case, sometimes they let you go home. I don't know if they're letting it, because this is such a world-renowned case. I don't know if they put the jurors up in hotels or let them go home or not let them go home. I don't know. See, I don't know all that. But I know that it's volatile. Let me say that. Because I know the case, the judge in Washington, D.C., it's not funny, but I was reading an article and she said, a week before she had Trump's case on her docket and everything, she said she walked around the courthouse. Nobody paid her any mind. After that case, she had to have bodyguards. She said before, nobody even gave her the time of day. They didn't know, they didn't. Nobody knew the lady. Didn't know she was a federal judge. Nobody knew. But after that, oh yeah, they did. They did. I have a couple of comments in there. And Ruby said, "Oh, okay. The alternatives, yeah, yes. That's and that it's an important job. It really is. Thank you, Devera. Thank you." And then federal rules of criminal and civil procedure up to 6 alternatives. Okay, thank you, Nanette. You know what? I thought it was more than that because I knew it was 6, but because of this case, it wouldn't surprise me if it were more. Because in one of the cases with Trump, the jurors, they had death threats. I don't know which case it was, but they were threatening that, we don't, and who knows who was doing this, by the way. I'm not saying Trump was doing it because I don't know, and I don't want to know. But to be honest, but I know somebody was. They were saying that they were getting death threats. Think about this. You're serving on a jury, doing your civic duty. Wow. That's the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it's real. So just know, I just want to make sure that we first understand where you have to be. Did everybody notice I didn't say anything about your educational background to be on, whether it be a U.S. House of Representatives, a U.S. Senator, or the President of the United States? There is no educational requirement. None. No. It doesn't say you have to be a high school graduate. It doesn't say nothing. Does it say nada? That's not a requirement. The requirement is that you be elected by your peers. That's really what it is. You have to just be elected by the people. Just be elected. That's really but there is no educational requirement. That was the one thing I know when I taught juniors and seniors, and they're like, don't they have to graduate from high school? That this is juniors and seniors saying it. And I'm like, no, they don't. And they're like, what? They couldn't believe it. They could not believe it. Now, I would add this also. I didn't put this in there, but you probably need to know this. You do have to have so many to be president. You have to have so many registered voters sign that they would like for you to run for this office. Now, I don't know the number, and I want to try and I never give out information that I'm not absolutely positively know this is correct. And I do that intentionally because you're going to take this somewhere, or you may, I'm not saying you will, but you could. And somebody tell you that's not right. That's why, thank you, Nanette, for fact checking everything. That is 6. I knew it was 6, but I didn't know because how big this case is. I don't know if the numbers are going to get bigger, but I knew it was 6. I just didn't want to say that. And then they say, oh no, we're going to have 12 jurors because, that's how big this case is. Just to be up under the scrutiny of all this amazes me. It amazes me because, as I said before, we are witnessing history. Oh, you said, that's like I said, nada on the educate. See, everybody doesn't know that. We have this misconception that you have to have this degree and that degree. No. Now, I'll be honest. Obama was an attorney. The Clintons were attorneys. Who else was an attorney? So Obama's and the Clintons for sure. And this is very rare. Husband and wife attorneys. That's really, really rare. To my knowledge, these were the 2 of the most highly educated president and wife. We can look back, but to my knowledge, that we've had in the presidential, there was president and the wife. The husband is an attorney and the wife is an attorney. That was definitely the Obamas and the Clintons. But that's rare. That's not the norm. To my knowledge, I know, no. Okay. Oh, thank you, Nanette. And then Oliver says, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the show and giving your input. And thank you for your support. Thank you, babe. All right. he's those of you I say he's next door. He's right next door. Now he gets to see me on TV. That's so interesting to me. He's watching me on TV, but he does. So thank you. Now I just wanted to now see I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? You guys have to help me. I get to I get to going. Oh, about the education. That's what it was. Okay. Let me think. Now this is what I will say. Many of them are college educated. They are, but for them to be attorneys, that's rare. That's rare. That's not the norm. I'm trying to think who other husband and wife. I'm not, I can't think of them right this second, but many of them are highly educated. I will say that. That is a fact. Many of our, the Bushes, as far as I know, on the Bushes, it would be, I want to say bachelor's degree. I don't even know master's degree. What if they say Daddy Bush? To my knowledge, I don't know. I just know he was the head of the CIA and then became president of the United States. So anyway, can you tell I like history? Love it. Love it. I just think it is I just think it's phenomenal. And what's the saying goes, if you don't know the history, you are bound to repeat it. Because if you know what it was, then you know what it took to get there. That could be. So that's why that's important to, that you just know, even it's just like you may say, well, I don't care. I've had people tell me this. I don't care who's president. I don't care about none of that because it doesn't affect me. That's what I've heard. I've heard people say that. And I said, everything they do in Washington, D.C. affects you. I know you don't think it does, but it does. Antonio says, Aunt Eleanor Roosevelt was an attorney general. I just found that out on Google. Okay. Eleanor Roosevelt, but what was her husband? And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were cousins. Like they may have been distant cousins, or a couple of cousins removed, but definitely cousins. And DeVera said, but the lack of higher qualification speaks to how dated our Constitution is. The USA is too big to be led by someone not well informed. Tell me, DeVera, what is Trump's background? Anybody know? Donald J. Trump. What is his educational background? I'll let you guys go in and Google that for me. What is his background educationally? I think, well, I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to wait till you put it in there as a fact because I don't want to start, going by what I think. Let's go by the facts. What are the facts of his education? I'll let you guys drop it in the chat of what his education is. And I'm asking just so you know that this was his education or what it is. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he hasn't probably had the time to go back to school since he graduated. But to my knowledge, I think he went to a military school, if I'm not mistaken. But that doesn't mean I'm right. That's just me talking. So don't go by that. Let's just wait till they drop it in there. What is his sisters, brothers, siblings? Anybody know that? As we all know, I said I'm not going to say what we all know. I sound like that. Why would I say that? That's wrong because there's a lot of stuff we don't know and a lot of stuff I don't know. Every single day I try to learn one thing. Think about that. That means at the end of the year, I've learned 365 different things. I don't have to learn everything in one day, but what's the one thing I can do? The one thing I can learn for today. That's really what I try to do because that's about all my mind can handle. Okay. And then that says, many folks are saying that the U.S. needs to put an educational requirement of at least what it takes to be an American citizen test. I know. Okay. Thank you, Ruby. Ruby said he has a BS in economics. That's it. There's no master's degree, no advanced degrees, no law degrees, none of that. From my observation, he hires lawyers, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no law against that. You can hire whoever you want to hire. So the point is, He has a bachelor's degree in econ. And Antonio, he said, at age 13, he entered I thought it was a military academy. See, he entered the New York Military Academy, a private boarding school. In 1964, he enrolled at Fordham University. 2 years later, he transferred to Wharton School. That's the School of Business. Okay. But no law degree. I'm going to tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been to law school. Law school is no joke. I'm going to tell you. It is no joke. I have so much respect for attorneys. I do. Because I know what they go through. I know that was not an easy degree to get. It wasn't. It's not, I don't care who you are. It's still not easy. That's for sure. And how many sisters and brothers does he have? I don't know. But I say this, remember, no matter what, our country is changed forever after today. It is, ladies and gentlemen. We're never going back. Now, what this really says is, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. It's like this. That's what this is saying today. There was a time this would have never happened. I'm telling you, they would have found some type of loophole. So it would never be there. It would never come to this ever. Mm-mm. They wouldn't even want the people to come to this. They would figure out. I say they, the quote unquote whoever was in charge, because the presidency was supposed to literally be above the law. That's the truth. I'm old enough to remember when it was above the laws. That's why I know. So it was truly, it was one of those positions that once you got there, the law no longer applies to you anymore. Not that it didn't apply to them, but it was almost like it didn't apply to them. And I really think that's what our former president thinks or thought. That once I can get into this position, then the law's not going to apply to me. Now, the only thing is, we don't know the outcome. Like I said before, he's innocent until proven guilty. So he's innocent. He's an innocent man. Whether we think he did it or didn't do it, whatever, he's innocent. So now we have to wait until a judge, until that a jury comes back, a jury of his peers, and it's going to take all of them to say he's guilty. He's not going to take one of them. It's going to take all of them. Think about that. All it's going to take is one person to have a hung jury. If one person from that jury believes whatever the case, whether it's Trump, doesn't matter who it is, then that person is not going. They have to either declare is it a mistrial? It may be a mistrial, but they would have to retry. Is what and that would be up to the district attorney or the DA to determine if they want to have another trial. So there's so many variables in there. But if they all agree that no, I'm sorry, Mr. I forget the man's name, the district attorney, because you have the district attorney from New York and you have the state. And then but if they agree that the attorney general for the state of New York, that, no, we don't think he did whatever it is you're claiming he did, then he'll be acquitted and he walks out the courtroom and that's the end of that. So it's really one of those, it'll be interesting. They've already said just to pick the jury is going to take about 6 weeks. Out of those 500 people, they were first sent a 7-page questionnaire. And they ask questions like, do you currently get the text messages from Trump or the email, whatever it is that they send out? Are you getting those? Are you getting the phone calls? Are you a part of the organization? All those kind of questions. And then they go from there. So I don't know how they're going to take the questionnaire and then determine what. I don't even know. I have no idea. So, but they have their ways. They have, the jury selection is its own. That's a science unto itself. Those of you, we used to watch Bull. I used to love Bull. Bull was good. Those of you that if you didn't see Bull, you should watch it. Bull is really good. Dr. Phil? Dr. McGraw with his show. I don't even know if it's still on or not. But they were the executive producers of Bull because that's what he did. That's what he worked with Oprah. That's how he became known to Oprah, and then they started working together, and that was the beginning of his career, as we know it on TV. And that was the goal. Was well, he worked with her on jury selection. Jury selection is probably gonna be hard. Who hasn't heard of all of these things going on? You must have been living in a hole somewhere, because it's on. If it's not on TV, it's on the news. It's on the radio. It's on my phone. It's every place I turn. A day doesn't go by I don't see something about something Trump said, did, going to court, what they said. I mean, this is every day. So if you really think about it, he's getting a lot of publicity. I think so. Tons of publicity. Okay. You said it was Franklin D. Roosevelt had a law degree, Antonio? He could have. I honestly don't know his education. I don't know his educational background, so you would have to help me on that. Okay, you said just P. Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. Everybody is. Thank you, Ruby. Everybody is. It's not just when you go to court until that's our legal system. If you I guess we say the words. That's how I call it. We say it, but let's be honest. Do you think people are innocent? Or do we say they're innocent and just wait for them to prove them guilty? I honestly think that's why people were in shock when O.J. Simpson was acquitted, because they had already made the man guilty in their head. He was already guilty. So how can they go through the legal process and he's innocent? I used to always say, he may not be living in a physical prison, but he's in prison for the rest of his life, even though he's free to do whatever he wants to do. But he really is in a prison because people thought he was guilty. I don't have any dog in that fight, so I don't even try and say if the man is guilty, innocent. I don't know. I just go by what the judge said on that, because I have no clue. But I will say this about what's going on now. We want to pay attention to this. I don't know if Trump is guilty or innocent. I have no way of knowing. But I want to see how this plays out. That's what I want to see. I want to see how this comes out to the public and everything else. I want to see how this ends up. I just want to see. I just think that's more important than anything else. Because my question is this. Okay, we go through all this. The chances are very, very good they're not going to find him guilty of 34 charges or whatever they are, the case may be. Okay, let's say it's 2 charges. I'm just going to throw that out there. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if it does come out like that? But okay, 2 charges. Now what? I don't know. I have no way of knowing. So you may know, ladies and gentlemen, but I really don't know. Nanette said 10 U.S. presidents with the highest recognized degrees: Woodrow Wilson, Taft, Pierce, Hayes, Clinton, Ford, George W. Bush, Kennedy, Nixon, Obama. Okay. Nanette, you be on your job, Nanette. Thank you. So, out of how many presidents, though? Over 40 presidents. So that's basically saying a little less than a third. Let's say a fourth of the presidents have had higher degrees. But that's also saying that other presidents have not. But I understand why we would want as highly as educated as you can be in that position, because it's so demanding. I cannot in my wildest dreams imagine that. I can't imagine that. I really cannot imagine that. Mm-mm. It's just another world is what I think it is. I think it's another world, not good, bad, or different. I think it's just another world. But we do have to stress and keep in mind, no matter what and if you notice what I said, this is not about political background. It's not about Republicans versus Democrats. That's not what this is. What they're saying right now at this point in time is, even right now, you are a U.S. citizen like any U.S. citizen. Does not matter. It's irrelevant to the point that you were president at one time. That matters not. You are being tried on these charges, just take away the title is what it amounts to. Take away that altogether. Yes, you're a former president. That's fine. That's good. We're happy for you. But the charges are not based on that. The charges are not based on your title, what you previously did, or anything like that. The charges are based on something that was previously happened. Now, what we're trying to find out, is it true that you did these things, or is it not true that you did these things? That's what we're trying to determine. And I say we, meaning because we the people. We be the people. That's us. That's what we are. So we want to know. That's the fascination for me in watching all of this come together. And when I watch the different courtrooms and the ins and the outs and this and that, I'm sitting here watching. This is amazing to me. It's amazing to me, and I'm fascinated. I'm just fascinated. But I have work I need to be doing. And what do? I'm sitting over here watching, which really, for me, what I tend to do in these kind of situations, because I have too much work to do, I will watch the beginning of it, and I'll probably watch, what I tell you, the end of it. That's what I did with O.J. Simpson. I saw the beginning and the end. That's pretty, and Oliver tell you, that's what I do with basketball games. I come in, I say, okay, who's playing? He'll tell me. I come back in again at the end. I say, okay, who won? That's because the work I'm working on, things like that. For me, that's my priority. So I kind of just get the beginning and the end. Now I don't know on this what's going to happen, but you said, Ruby said, consider all the taxpayers. I couldn't even finish a sentence. It's in the millions. Probably in the billions, if you ask me at this point. Consider all the taxpayers' money paying for the Secret Service to follow Trump around to all the court cases. Now, okay, remember, they're not just following them around. When you are a president, you get the Secret Service for life, for as long as you live. You get, that means they have the motorcade that goes with them. And you have to feed all these people. So that's our money. We're feeding them. We're paying salaries for them. We're doing all that for them. And I promise you, I don't know what the Secret Service pay is, but it's not low. I'm gonna tell you that it's not. And I don't even know how many people are in his detail. I have no idea what a presidential detail. I'm gonna assume. Well, it has to be enough to give them 24-hour protection. Think about that. So they're in shifts. And I think the shifts are 4 to a shift. So don't quote me on that, by the way. Do not quote me on that. It has to be a minimum of 4. It probably could be more. But minimum, it has to be 4 to a shift. So that's 12 people, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, for the long as Trump, not only long as he lives, long as his wife lives. I don't know if it goes down to the kids. It may go down to the kids too. So it probably is. So him, his wife, and his children have their own details. That's right. They sure do. And yes, we've been footing the bill. We always foot the bill. We've been footing the bill. That's the perks for having been president of the United States. You get that. So you have to feed them. You have to make sure. I mean, they have to have their vacations and time off when somebody, they got all that. All that's figured out, by the way. They've already done all that. But you're absolutely right. For the rest of his life. And we're paying for it. This is what I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen. What if our former president, Donald J. Trump, is found guilty? What happens? I'm asking you, what happens? You said, okay. You said yes, and we are paying all that, and people are mad about it. Tell me that I just like, you see, I got quiet. I was like, yeah. Tell it. That's right, Ruby. Ruby, you telling the truth. And then DeVero says, okay, Mary, put President Obama's face on all of the crazy. DeVero, you have me laughing right there. Okay. And put his face on there. Would it be thought of as not guilty until proven innocent? Okay, Devera, let me tell you that. Now, this is what I've heard this my whole life, and I don't know if anybody else has. There are two laws in this country, one for black folks and one for white folks. That's what I've heard. My own parents have said this to me. They've said, so never, as they say, they don't say don't get it twisted, but that's really what they said. Don't you ever think that the laws that apply to our counterparts here apply to you, because they don't. That's what I've been told. You said, we have a party. What are you saying? Oh my goodness. Well, I've said that from day one. I said, if let me just be honest with you, Devera. If one of the charges, let me just be honest, if one of the charges had been charged against Obama, he would have been gone so fast it's not even funny. Let's just be honest. Okay. You said if he's found guilty, his magna cult will still be behind. Oh my. Well, I'm not going to go into all that. I'm going to tell you that. This is why I'm hesitant about that. This is because as a history teacher, like I said, as a former history teacher, everybody has a right to vote any way they want to. That's the facts. They have that right. And if they want to follow the man, don't follow the man, that's their right. That is their right. And they have a right to that. Now, everybody's not going to agree with that. You know, it's hard. I'll be the first to admit it's hard for me to, when I was a witness to this. I wasn't even like it wasn't. The party, if he's found guilty, you said, your party. Wait a minute, I lost something here. You guys lost me. Okay, we have Ruby said if he's found guilty, they'll still follow him. And then Nanette said that's correct. And the Vera said that's true. And then Nanette said, party if he's found. No, you guys are wrong for that. You know that, right? You're wrong for that. Because, let's just think this through, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he's found guilty. Now what? Is he gonna be on house arrest? Is he gonna, because they're not gonna put him in no prison? And so I already know that. So now what? Is he still gonna be able to post on his social media? Is he still, because it's being able to contact all of those people, all of those kind of things. I don't know. Like I said, we are now in uncharted waters. The minute they said they're going to be getting the jury together today, this is all uncharted waters, ladies and gentlemen. We've never been here before. We've never been here before. But as I said before, once you let the genie out of the bottle. Now, what was happening? I'm sorry, I didn't read. It says, you said I'm telling the truth. Yeah. Now the chances are that genie can't go back in that bottle anymore. That's it. So now the genie out the bottle. Now is a whole nother world. Whole nother world, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are now. We're in a whole nother world. That's what's truly going on right now. That's what I mean about letting the genie out of the bottle. Now, what if he's found innocent of all 34 of those charges? You didn't think about that, huh? He doesn't have to be found guilty just because we think that's what he's going to be found. That don't mean anything. Whatever we think means absolutely nothing. Nothing. Nada. That's why you have a trial. And that's why they have to present all of this in front of those 12 of his peers, those 12 jurors, and they will be the decision makers, not us, because we're the jury of public opinion. That's who we are. We're the jury of public opinion. But we have to wait and see. But I think that was so funny. He said, if Obama had one of them charges against him, please, they would have had that man impeached, not off so fast as his head would have been. He would have been like, what? What the? And I'm laughing. Obama, if you ever see this, I have nothing but respect for you, sir. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I'm trying to be funny, but I really don't mean that. I have nothing but respect. Not for you, your wife, your family. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you do see it, though, Obama. I do. And Elaine says, oh, okay. Here we go. This is Nanette says, like you said, we have no idea what to do with a former president who's found. Think about that. Think about what the, ladies and gentlemen, the ramifications of this is so astronomical. We wouldn't know what to do. We wouldn't have a clue. And not only that, just even to be found guilty, just that of a criminal charge. Ladies and gentlemen, never been here before. If he's found innocent, we are stuck. I don't know what PFT, I don't know what that means, Nanette. You got to spell it out for me. I don't know what that means. I don't know the abbreviation of that. Tell me what that means. And Elaine said, even if, Elaine won't even call him by his name. She called him 45. Even if 45 is found guilty, don't think he would ever go to jail. Appeals, house arrest. He could receive a pardon from himself if he becomes president. Now, this is what's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because it says in our Constitution, high crimes and misdemeanors. High crimes means felonies. High crime, that's what a high crime is. A misdemeanor would be like jaywalking. But it says even that. It says that in the Constitution. High crimes and misdemeanors, you can't be president. I don't know what is going to happen here. That's why I said this is like uncharted. We've never seen it. We didn't know that it would ever come to this. But if you think about it, the authors of the Constitution knew something could happen because they put it in there. It said, Michelle has said on her podcast that if this was her husband, the presumption would have been that he was guilty. And I haven't listened to her podcast. I'm going to have to listen to it. What's the title of her podcast, Devera? It sounds like you make it. Okay. It's a sound you make when you blow air. Oh, I didn't know what that was. Okay. Thank you, Nanette. I didn't know that that's what that was. I'm like, what is that? Okay. Well, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as they say, this is, you know what this feels like? Some of you probably are old enough to remember that. You would go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride on Disneyland. That's what this feels like, ladies and gentlemen. To me, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I don't know if you guys remember that. I do. That's what this, it just gets that feeling of what is going on. It's this kind of every day is something new. Every day. And then you said, we said how all of this is handled will be lowering the high values of our country and the rest of the world. That's right. That's my point. Thank you, Devera. That's why I wanted to do this show. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And how we look to the world, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. There's so many, it's literally thousands of countries that look up to us. The prosecutor and the judge has no previous cases to refer in order to decide on sentencing. No precedents. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this is, oh, it's under her name. Okay, thank you, Devera. Thank you. I'll look it up. I didn't even know. I'm not surprised, but I hadn't looked it up. Our country will never be the same again, ladies and gentlemen. How the world looks at us. Now, in some countries, they put their leaders in jail and in prison and everything else. They keep it moving. They don't even hesitate. It's just a different world. We don't do that here. That's something that's why I say we've never done this before. So this is new. But I want to tell you, thank you and all of your comments. I can't thank you enough because we got, we think about it, but I don't know about you. I may talk to Oliver about it, but I talk to very few people about how I feel about it because it's, and I think some of it is scary. It's kind of like I said, unsettling. But we're going to take it one day at a time. And I will see you next Monday. God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you, Devera. I'll see you on Wednesday. All right. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.